Welcome. Another round is upon us here on NXTGP iRacing. The Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland returns to your screen to the fourth round of the championship. We move away from one classic circuit to another, from the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps near Liège to the sandy dunes of Zandvoort circuit. My name is Adam Reed. I'll be covering all the action tonight, and alongside me, for the first time in a very long time, is Dan van Zutphen.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
There we go, my streaming tool finally finds the game, and yeah, thank you for that lovely introduction, Adam. It's been a while, although we're no strangers to commentating besides each other and besides at NXTGP as well. I'm sure we all remember that very entertaining 6-hour race at Spa-Francorchamps with a staggering 12 people on the grid. We aren't far away from 12 people on the grid right here. Alright, well, a very good disclaimer again. Like a few Porsche Super Cup rounds ago, I am streaming, but I haven't done this quite a long time, so if there is anything off with sounds or with any broadcasting related issues, please just chuck it in the YouTube chat and I'll go and fix it right away. For now, it is co-driver Gian Zoutewelle on pole position, and they're in the pit lane, Adam, with, well, not much time to go.
No, I think everyone's kind of done their laps already. You can get a limited amount of time lapse in here, but I think everyone is just trying to leave it till the end, trying to get the track temperature ramped up. We're seeing a very, very sunny Zandvoort circuit here, a circuit that's hosted so many incredible events, from the Formula 1 Dutch Grand Prix, GT World Challenge, DTM, and it's been pretty much on and off in the IRL Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland season since 1991. It's absolutely great being here, especially kind of the way it's been modernized. And I think I saw a couple of images whilst there was F4 testing happening today at the real life circuit. It was a little bit more cloudy, which is I think the weather we're suited to around the Netherlands. But Dan, I think you confirmed this is very much a change from what you're used to.
Oh, it certainly is. I remember the Zandvoort circuits in its early days, without the kerfuffle with all the F1 stuff. Even the old layout. We didn't used to have a banked turn 3 like we see now. It was really boring, tight, and a bland left, very sharp left turn. Qualifying is over as well. The clock ticks 15, and therefore, Adam, I'm gonna lead you straight to the grid if we have any, and the broadcasting tool actually picks up a grid, which for now it does, as my broadcasting tool is finally ready. So I say, Adam, take it away.
Gian Zoutewelle on pole position ahead of Dennis Blocher in P2. Then we have Wagner, followed by Marco Kirkman, and then Aaron Jones, Justin Van Denton, the only Swiss driver on the field, with Verla and Uden in P8. Then we have Ed Ketzi, followed by Veldhoven, Weigers, and Koy in the top 12. That is your grid. It's a little bit of a shortened grid since I was last here. Back as a season opener, that was at the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari, better known as Imola. But, what are we expecting? Well, we are expecting some really, really competitive Porsche racing. And we've also got 3 different categories. The categories then being, if you're numbers 1 to 99, you are a gold. If you are 500 to 599, then you are a silver driver. While the bronzes have the 9 at the beginning, so 900 to 999. As we now get set for what is going to be the first race here, a 20-minute race to get us started with. And Dan, what are you going to be looking for if you're sitting on the grid there? What are you going to be kind of thinking about?
Well, as we watch Dennis Blocher in the green car, obviously you're trying to formulate a start, especially this Porsche Super Cup. It's really difficult on traction. So how am I going to be able to get that Porsche off the line the quickest? As I think almost everyone is ready here, and see if we can, get off the line, get off the grid, see when the 5 red lights arrive. Adam, there we go.
So he waits for the lights to come on. And we go racing here at Zandvoort for the first time. It's a decent start there from pole position for Zoetweiler as he heads his way now in towards Tarzan for the first time this race. 20 minutes are going to be on the clock, and the drivers head their way out of turn number 1 and on towards the sweeping section through Hugenholz for the first time in this race here. They use the high side, it looks like, from Zoetweiler. Blocker might have an opportunity. To the most competitive drivers in this championship going at it. It looks like Adam Jones, the most recent winner in the Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland series, having a big old tussle in the mid-pack there. They'll head their way through Skyflak for the first time,
as they almost all go through single file. But we have a fight here for the wooden spoon, as we say in English. Bram Veldhoen and Laurens den Ouden battling for last place. Veldhoen in that yellow car. Ooh, as we have some kerfuffle further up the field. There's Nicolas Werle in the 509. Oh, 3 wide. Surely that can never go well. It sort of ends well. A bit of door banging between all the 3 drivers. Werle, that's Den Rooyen, and I think Laurens den Ouden, who might be able to get a position from this fight as well. But right now it's Nicolas Werle down the inside, or had the inside, and makes the position work as well.
Yeah, indeed. That was pretty rough stuff there from Keanu Den Rooyen, because he started right at the back of the field, didn't set a lap time in qualifying, and was right down in 14th before a couple of drivers were sent to the pit lane. They had their way through to complete lap 1 here at Zandvoort, but for now, the drivers are just trying to get themselves into a little bit of a rhythm. Gian Zoetweiler will try and work his way and make bridge to Dennis Blocher, but he's probably well aware of the pace that green and white car has. They head their way through the twisty kind of routes of the circuit. There is Aaron Jones in. Oh, we've got a spinner. Spin there for the German driver, and he will drop to the back of the grid.
See if we can get a replay right here. This is Nicolas Werle. He's behind the 511 of Amaki Akazi. On the inside, does he just lose the rear end? Yes, he does lose the rear end. The 509 does. Around he goes. And now I need to find my live button again. There we are. But that was a spin for Nicolas Werle. Back to, well, the end of the grid he goes, Adam.
Indeed it is, and he's now going to have to kind of contemplate what his action is for race 2. Of course, there will be a reverse grid race, so it'll be Werle on pole, so, you know, he has a decent chance to put himself into a good spot, but you know, that's not what you really want to do. You know, it's even if it's on a grid this small, because you have some such fast drivers amongst you. We're looking here at the goal battle of Jan Zoetweiler and Dennis Blocher, and I wonder if there's going to be a potential maneuver here, because Blocher is now on that outside line. Zoetweiler feels the need to go defensive, and in towards Tarzan we go. That's going to be pretty close for comfort, and I think Zoetweiler is just going to hold out ahead, but Marlo Wagner is going to be looking in behind this, thinking, I want a piece of this. I want to get involved in this battle. Down on the low side goes Blocher, but will he have the traction? He will not.
Close fighting there between the two, and as Dennis Blocher now loses ground to not only Gian Zoetweiler but also Milo Wagner, the goal driver, who sends in an opportunity to chuck it down the inside in Schijfvlak. Very risky move, and he does, but Dennis Blocher hasn't lost yet. He hangs around the outside, and there we go. Defends his P2 absolutely beautifully by a fantastic move around the outside, as Milo Wagner momentarily took P2, but like we saw, fantastically done by Dennis Blocher. You sometimes underestimate what a difficult corner Schijfvlak is and can be. There's so much risk involved. carry a little bit too much speed and go a little bit too wide on entry, and you just find yourself in the gravel. Fun fact, a lot of crashes have happened through the history of Zandvoort at Schijfvlak. That's why there's a YouTube account. It's called Schijfvlak TV. It's still running to this day, where almost every weekend where there is some race in action, someone crashes in Schijfvlak and it gets uploaded on that actual YouTube channel.
You know what? I actually need to have a look at that now. You've made me write down a note for something to do after the.
It's like a YouTube corner of the Deutschland.
It is. You're absolutely right. We get this thing in the UK where, you know, some people just kind of film, you know, just bits of the circuit, and they manage to capture whatever accents they can. So that, yeah, we could pretty much get it to some extent. I'm sure there's something in every part of the globe here in motor racing, but we now look at the silver battle for the lead here. 6th place overall, but it's between Mechi Exetzi and Lawrence van Ouden, as well as Marco Kerkman, who leads this one. So 6th, 7th, and 8th place. Off into the gravel. Couple of cars go. That was a big old brush there for Lawrence van Ouden. He's very, very lucky that he's got away with that, and he will live to fight another day. But he'll have to puff out his cheeks, go, that was a close one, and continue. And I've just kind of noticed before we go through a replay there, Lawrence van Ouden just, yeah, a little bit wide, as you say there, Dan. You know, it can be so easy to go out wide in those moments. But yeah, it looks like Bram Veldhoven is now getting involved in this as well. He's using what seems to be Veldhoven using a Manti livery.
I think he is the black, and well, it's not running in NLS today, but it's a great livery nonetheless. Anyway, Veldhoven also smells an opportunity to overtake the man for P7 and keep a close out on then Audi. He could be involved as well, but there goes Veldhoven around the outside. He's trying it, but I wonder if it's enough to gain a position. Actually, he needs to be on the defense now, because the 572 is ready to stick a nose in, and so he does, and even gets that position. Or am I too soon? I don't think I am, because Veldhoven surely is never going to get the run out of turn 3 there, and indeed he didn't. Beautiful fighting there, you know, risk versus reward, Adam. That's the whole thing with attacking. If you attack and there is a guy behind you, you also need to be ready to all the anchors on the defense.
Over a quarter of the way into this race, and we're probably approaching that 2/5 of the way through this one. So the driver's still. Oh, that's an accident there. That's the 511 of Amechi Exetzi, and that's going to be a tow back to the pit for the silver driver. Potential disqualification here. We'll see what happens in towards the right-hander of box 9, and then it looks like he loses the rear, goes around, and that's going to be hugely unfortunate there for the 551. 511, my apologies.
That's an incredible crash there. As we switch back to live feed, because it's now Aaron Jones who is on the attack, pushing Justin van Densen on the straight on towards the Tarzan board, trying to work together with Justin van Densen. I don't think van Densen is realizing that, because he's taking the defensive line, and obviously, oh no, there he is back again. I thought it was disqualified as well. But there goes behind these two drivers Marco Kerkman. But now maybe the opportunity arises for Aaron Jones. Thinks the better of it. And thus he stays P5. Still working together with, at least trying to work together with Justin van Densen. As if you can maybe notice, the front of Aaron Jones in that Porsche Carrera Super Cup isn't that no, you know, just forget it. Isn't that streamlined? Yes, that's what I wanted to say. But isn't so streamlined, that front end. But he doesn't seem to notice that much, given he's almost all over the place of Justin van Densen.
Yeah, I think that car is going to be a little bit squiggly. Maybe not being able to turn into some of the corners, and you're going to be needing that for a lot of times around here. You know, Tarzan's going to be important in kind of getting the car transfer through a lot of these sequence of corners. So I think Aaron Jones, our most recent winner is going to be lacking a little bit of something in that Porsche, but he's going to try and make amends of whatever he can. And Justin Van Denser, who's the kind of the best of the rest in all of this, he's currently 4th and a bronze driver, but he's trying to let go of the toe here, and it looks like Jones just cannot get close enough. I wonder if his car is maybe more set up to get into the corners, or maybe it could be potential driving style, but looking up to the top of the lead here, that's starting to get a little bit closer for maybe Zoetweller's comfort.
Yeah, he was a little bit closer at the end of this lap. Means that Zoutewelle has maybe is a little bit more comfortable in the first part of the track than maybe the last part of the track. Obviously, a lot of twists and turns here at especially in the second sector, which we'll be heading into now. This is Renault bocht, if I'm not mistaken, on towards turn 10, and you can see that Zoutewelle loses a little bit of ground compared to Dennis Blocker, but 3.5 tenths remain the gap between these two. There's really not much in it between these two goal drivers, and that's what you know, as my English fails me yet again, expect from this field of cars, especially here at the front. The level is just incredibly close, and I think it gets demonstrated perfectly here at Zandvoort. Although Dennis Blocker does have a beautiful toe on the main straight, obviously out of the last turn on towards turn 1. Maybe a late diving move, thinks the better of it, but he's getting closer, Adam.
He is, and that's what he's going to be looking for. He's going to be looking to try and pounce on Gian Zoetwelle as we go over halfway distance into this race. 11 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. That's how long we've gone through this race. In a while moment there, potentially for Dennis Blocher. Maybe he got too much on the curb, so that could be a potential concern here, and an eye-opener for Blocher. Heading in towards Skyflak once again, trying to carry all the speed that he's potentially got, but that gap is just waiting around. And look at the rear end sliding away for our race leader. It just doesn't seem as connected as Dennis Blocher either. Of course, one of them, Blocher managed to get a win in Imola season opener, and then we had, I think it was round 2, which in Osher, which never saw a live broadcast. So really unfortunate for him in that case. But heading in towards the chicane section and through Hans Ernest Bosch. And they'll make their way back onto the main straight. But again, another opportunity that will go in the way of Zoetwelle. So down the straight they will head. It looks like Blocher will head to the outside line. He's going to swoop the car in towards Tarzan. Will he be able to grab the vine and get his way into the race lead? He's now level heading with Jan Zoetwelle, but Zoetwelle will have that that higher side of the banking. He's almost halfway up the circuit before they then go on the exit. It is pretty nip and tuck here. They'll head their way on towards Rob Schottermaker Bocht, and then through Skyflak they'll head, but it looks like the 35 will just keep himself ahead once again, and Blocher will be looking at this thinking, this is so frustrating. I just cannot get past that white and blue Porsche.
Fantastic fight. Once again, these two just cannot get separated from each other, can they? And bringing us all the entertainment we want here at the circuit of Zandvoort. Dennis Blocher, he was thinking about it for a while coming into turn 10, but Gian Zoutewelle blocked him off, and thus he was unable to make a move. Let's jump on board then with Dennis Blocher. Yes, he gets closer and closer, but he also needs to wait for the right moment. We have 6 minutes to go in this 20-minute race, which after we will obviously get a reverse grid. So if it ends like this, then Dennis Blocher will start just one place ahead of Gian Zoutewelle, which could be crucial for the win in the next race. Inching closer once again, thinking about the move, making Gian Zoutewelle a little bit scared. He needs to look in his rear view mirror, the leader does, but so far he's keeping a cool head and not giving an inch at him.
Absolutely not. There's still a lot of battles going on around the racetrack, and it does seem like we've got another one here. This seems to be Justin Van Denser, who is the only Swiss driver in the field. I don't believe I saw him at what seems to be in Imola. But it does look like it's at the moment some really promising stuff here from the second bronze on the circuit. The other one is looking to be out, so as long as he keeps himself on the racing circuit, he'll be picking up a good couple of points. Through he goes in towards the master corner and in towards this kind of more technical section of sweepers. It does look like now Milo Wagner, who is ahead there in the number 4. He is sorry, that's Aaron Jones, my apologies. But yeah, he's got now Marco Kirkman right behind him. So this is going to be a really tough battle as the two Skyflak racing cars are going to be racing against each other here with Skyflak racing in the chat. So they've got to be very careful, knowing that their boss is going to be watching them with eagle eyes on this broadcast here, being brought to you by NXTGP Racing.
As we have a fight for the lead once again, it's here Zoutwell on the inside, Dennis Block around the outside in the green. 79 Porsche Super Cup just can't quite find his way by through turn 1. As he is oh so close with only 4 minutes to go. Chucks it down the inside, needs to correct his car on the front end there, coming out of turn 3, and thus loses quite a lot of time. And then this fight finally has stagnated just a little bit more, especially for Gian Zoutwelle, to get some breathing space in. What a fantastic fight this is turning out to be, and it's going to go right down the wire here at the circuit of Zandvoort, this virtual circuit of Zandvoort. Now, when you look at the left timing tower, you can see that there are apparently 14 people, including me, in the session. That's what you get when the broadcaster forgets he needs to register in the session as a broadcaster spectator and not as a driver. So technically we have 13 people. 3 of those people already out of the race. Thus we remain with a top 10 here at the circuit of Zandvoort. 3 minutes to go. The gap is 0.6 of a second. Can Dennis Blocker catch up to Gian Zoutwelle, or will Zoutwelle prevail and take that victory, first victory here at Zandvoort?
It is going to be one of those that is just going to be mounting a lot of pressure on the back of Gian Zoutwelle. He'll just look to try and maybe work something. You can see the gaps kind of, expanding and kind of extending and then coming back in. But, look at that. Lap 10 last time around was pretty good. But then you jump back up to 0.6 of a second. That just kind of shows you the margins that you're working with in this fight at this moment in time. But Dennis Blocker will now just have to try and get back on the train here, see if he can maybe just walk past Gian Zoutwelle. But it's been a real tough kind of occasion to try and get through. 2 minutes left to go in this race, so next time round will be the final lap for our drivers. I do believe Dennis Blocker has been setting a good fastest lap so far. At this moment in time, it is just trying to work on getting the best exits, getting the best cornering, really working away. You're seeing the intervals between some of the drivers, so it looks like also Lon Den Oden and Nicholas Verla is a pretty close battle, but this is the one we're all looking at. And through Kumo we go.
Oh yes, you have done the old
through
mistake.
Addy line.
I've done the old mistake of pushing my mute button in and forgetting to unpress my mute button. But I disrupted my co-commentator as I thought Dennis Blocker would definitely go for a little bit of a move there, but it's all for none. I think it will be the last lap. Maybe just about, Adam.
Yep, I think it will be because we only got now what should be 50 seconds left. I don't think these cars can get around to the start finish line in about in 40 seconds. So there will be the last lap, and I think it's going to be really tensions heightened on this part here. But will Blocker potentially go for a move here through on towards the master corner? And then they'll slow down into the tricky section. Does Blocker have the tyres to potentially do anything about trying to get past Gian Verduz? Well, he will look to that inside line in towards 10. He'll put the nose inside, but it doesn't go towards him. It goes into the in the way of Gian Zutzweiler. Zutzweiler will have to just keep defensive here. He'll be looking in his mirrors, but don't be looking at them too long, Mr. Zutzweiler, because you will find yourself being passed because you've maybe missed a breaking point. But that's exactly what Blocker will try and do. Through they go on towards Kumo, and then one more corner to go of Ali Leyendijk. It's going to be after down to the exit. Pick up on the gravel here for Dennis Blocker. He's done absolutely everything he needed to do. The first win of tonight will go to Gian Zutzweiler at home. A fantastic result by 0.2 of a second, and Milo Wagner will hold on for P3. Fantastic stuff at the opening race here in Zandvoort.
Let's look at this fight, because I think we're going to have a photo finish unless Laurens den Oude has the better exit. He doesn't, and thus Niklas Werler gets P7. It was also tight between these two across the line and across the whole last lap of this first race here at Zandvoort. But at the end, it was Niklas Werler, and Keanu Dan Roye did crash. He is coming through the final corner. Let's see what happened with Keanu Dan Roye. This is a replay. He was driving all by himself in Schijfvlak, the corner we just mentioned. He didn't crash there. I think he just lost the rear end to this. Too much curb makes the car bounce a little bit too hard, and as a result spins on, I think this was the second to last lap, while Keanu Dan Roye comes across the line now to also finish his very first race at this fantastic track. As we now head to the results, if my broadcasting tool can finish loading up all the results, and let's see if we have any. Do we? It's taking a bit longer than anticipated, but in any case, we have had a good race, and I think we're going on a 5-minute break, unless the results do load, which they do not, and thus we're going on a little 5-minute break, because in about 5 minutes there will be one more race, a reversed top 10, 20 minutes again. Be ready for race 2 here at Zandvoort.
Well, welcome back to Zandvoort as we now look to take on to round 2 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland series. And what an opening race we have. I'm not alone, by the way. I have Dan van Zupfen alongside me, and he's also doing the broadcasting, so he might be quite quiet for the majority, so please do let him focus. But Dan, we had a pretty entertaining one, nonetheless.
We definitely did, as the grid soon will be forming up because the warm-up has almost counted down. Well, I didn't show you the results from last race. These are the results from last race. It was again Gian Zoutewelle in P1, then Blocker followed in P2 and Wagner in P3. Well, the Porsches are already making their way up on the grid, and I'll take you through that grid for the second race here at Zandvoort. Canada Roy will start on pole position after finishing 10th in last race, followed by Veldhoen, Ouden, Niklas Bergler in P4, followed by Justin van Densen, followed by Marco Kerkman in P6. Jones will start in P7, followed by Wagner, Dennis Blocker, and your winner from last time around, Gian Zoutewelle in P10. AKZ in P11, and Weijers, who I don't think will start, in P12 as we go to the next page of the grid. Koi in P13 and me in P14, but I obviously will not race as we head over to TV1. Well, Adam, take it away. Oh, this is fantastic. Yeah.
Once again, we get set once again.
There we go.
But for the second time here at Zandvoort, we go racing. Good start there from Canada Roygen as he now looks to cut off there what seems to be Bram Veldhoven, and around the outside go Lawrence and Oden, but he goes a little bit too deep there on the exit and pick up a grass, and that's going to be seems to be Dennis Blocker, who's been left for dead on the sand trap. It looks like someone's gone round. That's going to be Marlo Wagner. Another car has gone round. That looks like to be Justin Van Densen. So that's going to be a poor moment there for the Swiss driver. Gian Zoutewelle has also run into a couple of issues. So our 2 race leaders are batting for first and second for the entire 20 minutes. They're now back down in 7th and 8th, which is not where they want to be. There's through Sky Flag, and it's Kane Den Ruchen who's managed to survive and attack early on. He now takes this lead and will look to try and make a bridge.
I most certainly will. Gian Zoutewelle almost collided there, I think, at the exit of turn 3 there. But I mean, you can see the side of Marco Kerkman being roughly, well, not in a grey healthy shaped left rear, if the right rear actually, and also the other side of the car of Marco Kerkman isn't fantastically streamlined, but he has to live with it for roughly 19 minutes as he tries to defend Gian Zoutewelle, one who will undoubtedly pass Marco Kerkman anyway, given, well, not only him but also the car behind, Dennis Blocker, who won the last race, is is probably going to pass Marco Kerkman this time around to the inside. Does Gian Zoutewelle go? Marco Kerkman gives him the space. Same counts for Dennis Blocker, who also tries to overtake Marco Kerkman, but that's easier said than done for Dennis Blocker in the 79 Porsche Carrera Cup car. And through Marco Kerkman also goes, and thus he is finally free from Kerkman and might now chase at Gian Zoutewelle, the man who won last race, if I recall correctly.
It was Gian Zoutewelle as he now looks to try and make some maneuvers here. The gaps are still close as ever with this 20-minute race, but through Masters Box they go, and they'll look to try and work their way in towards the right. Through the left they go. Well, I will stick a nose up the inside there. Will he get the traction on Nicholas Verla? He absolutely will. He puts Verla on that inside line, that tighter apex corner, and he will just manage to run himself out onto the edge of the circuit to put himself ahead. And look at who's following in behind is Dennis Blocker, so he needs to be pretty careful, does Gian Zoutewelle, because Dennis Blocker will remember what happened in race 1. He'll remember what happened off the start where he got shoveled out onto the sand dunes and will now look to potentially try and get past here at the number 35.
Well, the battle for fourth is definitely alive. Jones just ahead, Zoutewelle then in P5, but the man who's missing on that data box is Dennis Blokker. He's right behind Gian Zoutewelle. Maybe he wants to take fifth place back and get his first win of this round at Zandvoort. Niklas Werle just behind, but look at Aaron Jones already close at the back of Veldhoen, who's the yellow car just in front of him. I say just, it's millimeters different. Does Jones maybe go for a move on the inside of Schijfvlak? He certainly wants to do so. Oh, he leaves the door open. Bram Veldhoen does, and maybe that gives the opportunity to the Englishman to get a move done. He's losing time though compared to the cars behind, and there goes Gian Zoutewelle. Can Dennis Blokker join his teammate? He probably can, and down the inside Dennis Blokker goes off Renault Bocht and up towards turn 10. It's too wide. Oh, there's going to be a collision, surely. Oh, and it's Gian Zoutewelle around, and that's drama, Adam.
Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of question marks in the air as well about that. Yeah, I can tell. Just get your breath back very quickly, because that was pretty intense. Jan Zoutewelle, the gold driver. Let's see what happened here. In towards kind of number 9. He got kind of put to that inside line. I think he just outbroke himself there. He was more focused on what was happening with Blokker, and then unfortunately he just ran into the side of that number 4. But how close was that to potentially race-ending contact? He'll run down to the back here, and it will not be a win here for Jan Zoutewelle. He will not be able to make it 2 for 2 and clean sweep the entire weekend. That will maybe go to another driver, and at the moment it's Lawrence Van Olden who leads the way by 0.8 of a second, but I don't think it's done and dusted. We enter a quarter into this race.
Indeed, I don't think it is at all, as we see a fight. Probably 4 cars involved. Ahead of that whole group is Keanu Den Roy, who's holding relative station here, lost his P1, but now currently P2 and driving P2 already for roughly 4 minutes. Bram Veldhoen, the yellow manty-colored car behind, is probably being threatened by Aaron Jones very soon. Almost contact there as the Porsche Carrera Super Cup, the number 4 of Aaron Jones, now goes to the inside in turn 1. He saw it coming. Bram Veldhoen is just not up to pace with the man from the UK. Can his teammate follow now? Dennis Blokker, the man who might well have a shot of winning this race down the inside in the Audi S-Bocht, outbreaks Bram Veldhoen. Done and dusted. That wasn't too difficult. Oh, that's the Porsche of Dennis Den Roy going very slowly, swerving to the right, wanting to keep that podium place. He currently holds P3 after being overtaken by Aaron Jones there. Now he's in a sandwich between the same teams. Aaron Jones in P2 again. Dennis Blokker in P4. Blokker looking maybe down the inside. Can he outbreak Den Roy? Yes, he can. Does that very confidently. Den Roy doesn't have any chance, and thus loses his P4. And now probably Adam needs to look in his rear view mirrors as well, because there's a threatening Porsche Carrera Cup by the name of Bram Veldhoen.
Indeed it is, and we'll look to hopefully just keep on the racetrack here. It's so easy to kind of lose your bearings and really find your way off the racing track as well. So you've got to be really careful about kind of where you're positioning the car, what lines, what curbs are you putting this race car on. Are you putting them on maybe a high sausage curb or something? That can really unsettle the car. But Bram Veldhoen will now, who we're riding on board with, try to see if we can maybe make up another place, because Keino Dan Rugen has been very displaced, I'd say. He just looks a little bit uncomfortable in that Ayrton Senna inspired Porsche Cup car. They head their way through and on towards the Hans Ernst Bosch, and off he goes. That's going to be Keino Dan Rugen. Unfortunately, that's going to be the end to his race. He'll be able to maybe limp it back to the pits, but there's more contact in behind. That's going to be off the road, Milo Wagner, and that's exactly what I was talking about. It's so easy to go off the road. Now, the two drivers have gone off the road in the last 30 seconds are going to be right with each other on the racetrack.
Oh, so much can happen here at Zandvoort in, well, a finger knip. Milo Wagner down the inside of Keanu Den Rooyen wants to get that blue Porsche Super Cup place up as he, well, slowed himself down quite massively or got in contact. We need to see on the replay. I didn't really see it, but Milo Wagner now on the inside of turn 3 will not have the momentum out of that corner and does need to defend. Oh, there was almost contact between Milo Wagner and Justin Van Densen in that purple Schijfvlak Racing Porsche Carrera Super Cup. Goes for the move in Schijfvlak. You can't get it more ironic than that. And gets the place as well. P8 for Justin Van Densen, the Schijfvlak driver, who gets an overtake in the Schijfvlak. Beautifully done, but he's not done yet, I think, because Keanu Den Rooyen is just ahead, and down the inside he goes in turn 10. Gets Den Rooyen completely by surprise and therefore gets up even another spot and thus finding himself in P7. Now the question is, can Keanu Den Rooyen still prevail against the man he was defending against? Just one lap ago. Oh my god, that's a Porsche on 2 wheels. You can't get it more upside down than that. And there goes Keanu Den Rooyen losing another place. Oh my god, absolutely everything happening here, but that was an absolutely incredible move by Keanu Den Rooyen. I've never ever seen a Porsche Super Cup get on 2 wheels like that.
No, neither have I. I think we need to do, Dan, is after this race, you now need to go into a replay and try and get a picture of that, and then just send it into the chat, because that was unbelievable. I was about to kind of comment on Justin Van Densen and how, you know, those overtakes are just being made by straight fire in his belly after what happened at the third corner. On lap 1, he's managed to fight his way from the back of the field all the way to what seems to be P7 as the bronze driver, but he is not the leading bronze driver. That goes to Bram Veldhoven at this moment in time in P4 for the moment. I think Bram didn't get to finish the last race, finished down there in P12 with a DNF to his name, but he is now back on what seems to be a little bit of form, and we're now looking at the Project 91 racing team car of Dennis Blocher, as he now looks to be getting onto the back of his teammate and putting a bit of pressure on Lawrence van den Doden, with what seems to be 9 minutes left to go of this one. Still a lot can happen. Stay seated, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere, and indeed, as it's Aaron Jones who loses a bit of ground against Laurens ten Oude. Now, no team orders here, needs to defend against Dennis Blocher, his own teammate, as I think it was Bram Velten who just lost a place against Marco Kerkman, indeed. Let's have a little replay of that. This is Marco Kerkman down the inside of turn 1. Easy does it. Done and dusted. Has the inside. There's nothing really Velten can do. And thus Marco Kerkman gets up a place. Let's get back to the fight at hand here, as we've completely missed Laurens ten Oude getting overtaken by Aaron Jones there. Surely he must have made a mistake, because the gap was way too big for an actual overtaking opportunity against Laurens ten Oude. And now there goes his teammate Dennis Blocher. Don't set it in too hard. Barges his way through turn 9 onto turn 4, turn 10. That is through the outside, around the outside he goes. Laurens ten Oude losing traction there on the rear, losing exit speed, and thus it's enough for Dennis Blocher to get himself also promoted up to P2. The silver driver Laurens ten Oude did absolutely everything to get that P1, to stay on that P1, but it couldn't be all sunshine and roses. But Aaron Jones, when did that happen? Let's see. through turn 3, and it's a mistake from Laurens den Oude, a mistake from the driver coming into turn 3. Maybe we can get even another replay of that. No, we can't, but this is the replay of, well, Dennis Blocker making a move around the outside, beautifully done. Well done by Dennis Blocker as we return to live pictures, because there is the fight for P1 already. It's Dennis Blocker who wants to attack his teammate, actually goes around the outside, completely missed that, was way too busy with putting replays up again. But now Aaron Jones needs to look in his rearview mirrors. There is Laurens den Oude, but I think he will prevail.
I think he will too. So in the space of 2 minutes, Dennis Blocker has gone from third in the field, waiting his chances, and now he's pounced. And as I say, 2 minutes later, he's now into the race lead. He won't be familiar with this in terms of tonight's racing around Zandvoort. We moved to a replay. This was back with Blocker trying to go around the outside there of Aaron Jones and managing to take that position. So which is a really, really nice clean move and seizing the opportunity when it came forward. And now through he went, and he's now going to try and bridge a gap, and that gap already now up to 0.6. It's not the biggest of leads that you could potentially, grasp. But, with Aaron Jones, what are the chances that the Brit can go back through? Laurens den Oude is still in the lead of the silver class. He's 3.6 seconds ahead of Marco Kirkman in the same class as him. So what are the chances that will maybe overturn? And it's then Bram Valhoven in the bronze lead here in 5th overall. And they look to potentially just try and survive all of this. I think also Justin Van Denser is now onto the back of all this as well. There he is in the Skyflak racing machine. You can tell by his kind of Subaru-esque inspired car, but I promise you that is it's just because of the color matching. It's a dark blue with a bit of yellow. It works an absolute treat.
It works an absolute treat, as it's Bram Veldhoen right now, still at the back of Marco Kerkman. Kerkman, who might not be fantastically happy with how his race is going so far. Definitely some strong hands in that Porsche Carrera Cup Marco Kerkman has, but currently he's just not finding his feet compared to the top guys. You could almost say he's best of the rest. It's a spot below that. It's no, Marco Kerkman is indeed in P4, so that is best of the rest. It's Bram Veldhoen who's one spot below Marco Kerkman and does not best of the rest. See if this can get a little bit spicy. I can see Justin Van Densen obviously getting closer on the back of Niklas Werler. Indeed, Justin Van Densen, actually, we call him Swiss, but I can guarantee you, Adam, Justin Van Densen is quite the Dutch name, but Niklas Werler, the German driver, actually gets beside Bram Veldhoen, gets the inside of turn 1. Can he get by Bram Veldhoen? Veldhoen has the better exit speed and thus prevails and does keep that P5 for now, because it's going to get spicier.
Well, that's going to be Justin Van Densen blinking, and it's going to be... Oh, that's going to be difficult. Veldhoven spins around, has to send one of our drivers off onto the grass, and that is now going to see Bram Veldhoven drop all the way back. He's also got damage to the car. Sorry, that's kind of Dan Bruchen. So it's, my apologies on all of that. I think that was Bram Veldhoven that took the evasive action. Has now a meeple flag, which means there is damage on that Porsche, but I think he's just going to go out and ignore it because he's still just out there in 6th place. Does not have the bronze lead anymore, because that now goes to Justin Van Densen up into P4. A fantastic placement for him. So if he can just stick in there and defend from Milo Wagner for the next 3 minutes, he could take an absolutely incredible finish for the Skyflak racing team.
This is Marco Kerkman. We see the replay here. What happened to the Skyflak racing car? Just losing it on the rear end. And oh my god, we're going to find so much carnage there. It was, I think, Niklas Bergler who got touched as well. But they could have ended a whole lot worse, I must admit. As we see Justin van Densen as he deletes from the image and now back again, attacking Milo Wagner. The man in the, I want to say, light blue, baby blue. Oh my god, absolutely a scent from Justin van Densen. How did he keep that out of the wall? I have no clue whatsoever. But Justin van Densen, I need to have a replay of that again. Look at this absolute scent from Justin van Densen. Oh my god, fantastically well spotted by Milo Wagner there to just cut across him. Get that position back. If I'd be Wagner, I would have waved out of the cockpit as well. Well, thank you. Bye. That was absolutely fantastic. Justin van Densen is not giving up at all. With only 2 minutes, roughly 2 minutes to go. We're about to enter the last lap for the leaders as well. But the battle for 4th place is far from done here at the circuit of Zandvoort. Slow down for Justin van Densen. And right as I say that, the battle is probably done for 4th place, Adam.
Yep, I think so too. And I think if, yeah, it was lucky. That move was, it was ambitious, but wasn't made. If he did that again, he'd probably end up in Amsterdam or something. So he's got to be pretty careful of that next time around. Dennis Bloker is on his way on his final lap here of the Zandvoort circuit. What was a very frustrating opening first race. He just could not get past Jan Zoetwiller, but he's been so successful this season in the Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland series. He's taken a win already at round 1 in Imola. He's taken multiple pole positions. We now look to Niklas Werner, who is going to be really on the attack here of Justin van Densen. Don't be sending that car to Amsterdam, Justin. You know, you've got to use it in future races as well. They head their way on towards the Masterbocht. Will Werner sense an opportunity? He'll stick his nose inside and say, actually, maybe not. Otherwise, I'll be probably being sent out to the Zandvoort beach here instead. So I'm going to try and maybe make a switch back here and on towards the long back straight. Is he going to be making a move? Well, I'm not too sure here because Dennis Bloker will be heading around Kumo corner and on towards the final corner of the named after the Indianapolis 500 winner Arie Luyendyk for the second race here in Zandvoort. It's Dennis Bloker to take another victory in the Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland ahead of Aaron Jones, and it'll be a silver podium for Laurens den Ouden. What a result here, but who will come out in this one?
It's Niklas Werner, maybe with a photo finish, if he's lucky, but no, it's Justin van Densen, who miraculously takes P5 after all that struggling, after all that fighting, after all the dive bombs, as Marco Kerkman has enough and absolutely puts his car into the barrier, rightfully so. You won't lose any safety rating in league racing on iRacing. Well, that was one heck of a final. One heck of a second race, and well, I mean, I already know who's not going to be happy. It's Jan Zoetwiller, who's already left the track, but fantastic race results nonetheless. Adam, the feature race results are here.
Indeed they are. Dennis Bloker is your victor. That will be his second victory of the second recorded victory of the championship. And then we find Aaron Jones, the Brit, who now takes his third podium in the last 3 races. And then we have Laurens den Ouden, who comes home in P3. What about Milo Wagner there in P4 and Justin van Densen for Skyflak Racing in P5 with Vela in P6. Keanu Den Rugen in P7 with Marco Kirkman and Jan Zoetweiler in P9. He was left a little bit frustrated of what this race could have been. He took that win, but it wasn't the results he quite wanted. What about the rest of the top 10? Well, Veldhoven, followed by Ekitsi, then Weichers, Koi, and yourself.
Yes.
Who unfortunately did not take the grid, but there's some really, really interesting stuff here around Zandvoort. I think there was some really, really close battling, and of course the next up is we're going kind of for the series for the championship of Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland. We're going home. We're heading to the Nürburgring.
Oh, heading to the Nürburgring. Not the Nordschleife Nürburgring, I think, but just the Nürburgring. Fantastic track as always. It's a fan favorite, as we see Marco Kerkman here losing his rear end once again, and brought us that spectacular crash. Spectacular almost crash, as we see everyone avoiding that crash. But I mean, it's a fantastic track, and Adam, let's see what happens there. Let's see if Dennis Blocker will win the second race again.
Indeed, it's going to be one of those that is not one to miss. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time when the series heads to the Nürburgring, the home of one of the most famous circuits in the world. But from myself, Adam Reed, from Dan Van Zutphen, and everyone here at NXTGP iRacing, we'll see you when we head to the Nürburgring. Take care.